by Islamic State attractive, do you think, to Muslims in the West?
It depends what kind of Muslims you're talking about, because what we find in the media that has been going for several years is that the perspective of those who have long been oppressed by an official caliphate has, they haven't been given their voice. If we go back in history, we find that the caliphate was, at least for those who will call themselves Shia, the caliphate is something that has always been mainly to do with an official government that is interested in oppressing others in order to stay in power. So certainly for most of the Shia, a caliphate is not attractive because they've always been the ones that have been on the receiving end of beheadings.
Okay, and Omar, do you accept that? I mean, would you in principle be interested with exploring the idea of a caliphate, even if it wasn't as brutal as this?
Well, the idea of a caliph is within Islam in itself, within Sunni Islam, so it's an idea that and a concept that I accept. But realistically, how things are at the moment, how divided Islam is at the moment, with as many sects as they have, Sunni, Shia, Ahmadi and such, a caliphate really would not be able to identify himself with any of the sects, and as such, would he be accepted by all? Probably not. I think the main issue is, can a caliph bring unity within Islam, let alone everyone else, non-Muslims alike, and bring them on a peaceful and equal level? I don't think so.
And at the moment of the 21st century, that would be impossible. Saif, what are your views?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're witnessing now in Iraq and Syria with Caliph Ibrahim, may Allah protect him,
Just come one shooting.
Phenomenal. Muslims around the world are uniting like they never have before. I don't buy into the narrative that they're not uniting.
I mean, Shia aren't uniting, are they, behind this?
Well, I think, those who don't want to attack the Islamic State, whether they're Shia or Sunni...
Bring your family around, let me behead them, see what you think. Can't.
As long as they obey the law of the land. And I think that's
but there's no choice involved in this, is there? If you are living in part of that caliphate, you are then subjected to the laws of what is decided by the caliph.
Yeah, I mean, likewise in Britain. I mean, if I break the law in this country, then I'm subject to be arrested. I think
go to jail, not get your cut head.
In the caliphate in Iraq and Syria, if people want to obey the law of the land, not steal, not murder, then I think they have the right to live there and benefit from that system.
I mean, the question comes in with regard to legitimacy, because who is it who is imposing the law of the land? Who has the right to impose the law of the land? Going way back into Islamic history, anyone who takes upon power for themselves and who actually does not accept the authority of the successor of the Holy Prophet as he intended to designate his successorship, then they are usurpers. So we have in Islamic history a long history of people who have made claims for themselves, risen up, made claims, claimed to be the ones to implement the law of the land, beheaded or killed those who choose not to acknowledge the legitimacy of their rule. You cannot,
which is bollocks,
just impose your will and say, now we're going to impose our law of the land.
America's doing that. Britain's doing that.
No.
They're killing, they're murdering many Muslims.
That happened yesterday.
Okay,
Propaganda. There was a video.
Okay, let's move on. But the idea though of a caliphate and this idea of sort of not social justice, but the actual sort of society, people being looked after, this idea of a homogenous Islamic society. I mean, you're saying
good Muslim like you. Happy days with you, brother.
There's a sort of romantic notion here which attracts some jihadis who want to go back to something they seem to envisage from 500 years ago.
Of course they do. I mean, there's a disparity between Muslims and Muslims in society, and where many Sunni Muslims may feel as if they don't have enough power and enough say, in a society where they will, under a caliph, obviously they will, more than anyone else. It's a romantic idea that everyone is putting all their eggs in that basket, and they're not looking to unify people within Islam and within the sects themselves. They're all looking to the idea of a caliph. Oh yes, he will bring us together. He will, make everything all right. Create a utopia, but that is simply not possible.
And so if you're not concerned about women's rights, for example.
Of course I am. I mean, Islam was the first to give women's rights in this country. There were many oppressive laws on women. So I think the caliphate is also for non-Muslims, and I hope the caliphate expands to encompass the entire world.
And a very sort of rigid
entire world.
Sharia law,
Can't.
Many scholars would dispute in terms of punishments and
I think what we're witnessing
amputations.
I think Islam is the fastest growing religion in the West. I think what we're witnessing now is a lot of support for Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi and the Islamic State.
That's because if you don't support, you get your head cut off, cunt.
But you say that they're implementing
Forced support.
You say that they're implementing.
Now she makes the
they're
point.
Implementing Islamic law. Tell me how machine gunning people who are not armed is implementing Islamic law, because we have seen videos of them going around in cars with machine gunning people. According to Islamic law, if you're
Americans.
Ah, shut up, you dick.
have sources of people, Islamic State's own videos of them going around in cars, machine gunning unarmed people. That has no precedent.
How do you
Let me answer that. Well, I'd say, look, there is a war taking place between those who believe sovereignty belongs to God and those who believe sovereignty belongs to man. What we're witnessing now in Syria and Iraq with the Caliphate is that they are under attack. We saw airstrikes happen a few days ago, and there's even more attacks happening from the
man-made.
But some people might be asking you, say, why don't you go and live in this Caliphate?
Well, I think I've been calling for Sharia law in Britain for a long time, and I think if someone could find me a ticket to go, I would happily go.
I'll buy it for you. You can't. You can fuck off straight away, you prick.
And you'd be arrested if you came back, I imagine.
Arrested? He should be beheaded.
We have
Prick.
got to leave it here, but this idea of the Caliphate, something that's being discussed, of course, right around the Islamic world at the moment. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
For joining
Thank
us
you.
on this
Fuck you.
BBC programme.